Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post another quick video here. Actually, gonna do a kind of a quick combination of videos here because I know AJ, I think the username is, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce the username. It's like AUG71, AUG71. But AJ had a thread out that I make sure I had saved in my favorites and wanted to make sure I got back on that today. I kind of had a one record answer for his thread, so I thought I would kind of combine his response along with kind of what I've been spinning and just a couple of new pieces that I've gotten over the past week or so. So that's kind of what this quick to the point video is. So let me start off with AJ's thread, which basically he was asking about blind buys, you know, just kind of share some blind buys that you had, but I think he kind of tacked on there too that kind of saying the ones that were like really, really impactful, you know, like really, you know, change your life musically or whatever. Hold on a second, guys. Feels like that might be a little loud in the video. So, you know, I've had a number of great blind buys, you know, over the years and everything, but I think there's really one that stands out in my mind as being like the most impactful on me musically, and that is this baby right here, which is John Coltrane's Love Supreme. And then we also have the kind of the new release. So yeah, this without question is definitely the most impactful blind buy that I've ever had. And one of the reasons why I have two copies of this particular vinyl is this one right here is the actual copy that I bought that day. It was right when I first started collecting vinyl, and I think I've told this story maybe a couple of times over the years here in the VC, but it was right when I first started collecting vinyl. I mean, maybe I had 50 vinyl to my name, if that, and there was this little record store, CD/record store I used to go to, and I'm walking around in there one day just, you know, browsing, and I hear this thing playing. And keep in mind, I wasn't into jazz on any level really at that point in time. I mean, I'd heard Kenny G back when I was initially in college, which is kind of the first jazz I ever liked. So even the jazz that I was listening to at that point in time with the few CDs I had and everything else, it was more, you know, Kenny G or smooth jazz, and I had a couple of acid jazz compilations, and I loved that stuff, but that was really kind of as far as my jazz world went. And then I'm walking around in the store that day, and the guy's playing this copy of Love Supreme, and I'm just not even really paying attention to it, but I noticed it's just kind of making me, you know, it's like it's taking me somewhere without paying attention. I'm just kind of digging. I'm like, okay, wait, what the heck is that? You know, kind of one of those things. And I went up and asked him about it, and he's like, yeah, it's this John Coltrane Love Supreme. And I was like, I don't know who that is. I've never heard of the record, but something about that is just making me feel. So I was like, I'll take it. And I think I bought it for like $12. I wish it was in mint condition too, because this A77 release is you know, actually a pretty nice one to have. Feels in better condition. You know, but again, after I kind of got more into collecting and started paying a little more condition to my records, you know, I did go out and get a much nicer copy, but this is just kind of one that I never want to get rid of, because not just the music, but this specific copy is what started all things jazz for me, you know. And so to this day, John Coltrane's Love Supreme is, I think, the greatest jazz album of all time. It is my absolute favorite. So yeah, when you talk about an impactful blind buy, I don't know if there's ever one has ever been more impactful than that. So there you go, AJ. That's kind of the one that jumps out of my mind of you know, my most impactful blind buy. Now jumping into just kind of what I've been spinning over the last couple of days, as well as a couple new things that have kind of come in. Number one, actually, did I? Oh, if I did, I'll do that next video. So number one was playing in the background. You got the Great tracks on here, you know, everything from stuff like 1969 on the front side, which is one of my favorite songs off this album. And pretty much the whole second side is great. I mean, just a really solid album by the Stooges there. And you gotta love that cover too. I mean, that's classic stuff there. But this is actually what's playing in the background. Was spinning this night before last. Hadn't pulled this one out in quite some time, but Jane's Addiction. Nothing shocking. And this is a gold stamp promo copy there. But yeah, you know, I mean, that's a classic album, and of course it might be the most mainstream song off this album, but my favorite song is Jane Says. There's a groove to that song that I don't know, I tend to like finding that when you have songs in these different categories that maybe are very pop or something from like Flower Power back in the 60s, or just all that stuff that's not necessarily in the R&B realm. And when you find those, I like to say, hidden grooves that are inside of it, in other words, that the songs aren't necessarily known for or associated with a groove or a funk necessarily, because it's not that type of music. But when you listen to it, it's just so clear that that's what the song is floating on and riding on. And Jane Says is a perfect example of that. I mean, there's such just a funky, deep, hidden groove inside of there, and you know, it's just awesome stuff. But then when you start looking at the band too and who's in there, it's also kind of evident of why that song is that funky. But anyway, so great stuff there. Another one. This is a group that I love to hate, the Cowboy Junkies. And I don't know. It's just, when I say love to hate, is mean I like their music. Obviously, I have a couple of their albums and so forth. But there's just a few things that I've heard in their songs and stuff over the years that just kind of always rub me the wrong way. But I always try to separate some of that stuff from, you know, just the actual music itself. But anyway, kind of getting off track there. So this is the Cowboy Junkie, the Trinity Sessions. This is the British pressing. And really good stuff. A great mellow album to listen to. You know, just really kind of, you know, just kind of a soft delivery. Yeah, I mean, just kind of a soothing, kind of laid back type of album. And of course, they do a cover of Sweet Jane. You know, Lou Reed, Velvet Underground does a cover of Sweet Jane, which is definitely my favorite track off of this album as well. So very, very good stuff there. Got the urge the other day, throwing little Rolling Stones. Give Me Shelter. I mean, that song too is just funky, funky, funky. And again, that might not be the first thing you say when you talk about a lot of Rolling Stone songs, you know, even though they are so blues and R&B oriented, a lot of the stuff they did. But yeah, again, there's a mean, funky groove inside of that Give Me Shelter, which I love to death. Not to mention the vocals on that is awesome. Another great album, and I've talked about this one a couple of times, which is Alison Krauss and Union Station, Paper Airplane. It's our 2011 release. I mean, really, really good stuff. Kind of that down home bluegrass, you know, type of stuff. And I've always found the easiest way to sum up this album is if you love the album, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, you know, this is just an extension of that. Especially considering that Alison Krauss did a number of tracks on Oh Brother Where Art Thou, as well as what's his name? The guy that sings Dust Bowl Children. He also did a bunch of stuff on Oh Brother Where Art Thou too. So that exact same type of thing, but it's a beautiful pressing, great album, and quite frankly, just something a little different out there. I mean, I don't know, it's just something nice about just kind of going back to the roots of some things, and this album does it very well. So, great stuff there. And then, probably saw this in the background, a couple of my most recent videos. I've been spinning this one for a little while. But this is Mr. Stevens, Greetings from Michigan. I don't know, kind of a weird artist. I don't know. I mean, I like this album a bit. I'm not fond of... Well, I should take that back. I do like some of his other stuff, but not to the point that I'm willing to pay $20 for his other albums. I'm just not that crazy about him. Although I would like to get that, what's the Christmas CD that he did? Because my favorite song by him is a song, I can't remember the title of it now. It's like The Worst Christmas I Ever Had or something like that. It was actually the first song I ever heard by him. And then I started to discover some of his other things. But again, this is Michigan, greetings from the Great Lakes State. And again, it's interesting stuff, kind of different. And then the last 4 I want to show here, kind of adding on to some of my metal collection here. I just recently got Zao here, their 1997 release. And this is The Splinters, Shards, The Birth of Separation. Again, some of their earlier stuff. And for those of you that know Zao, just kind of, you know, a very positive message, hard metal group, which I think is awesome. And I'm trying to complete their artist collection, so it was nice to get that edition there. And then I also picked up this one too. And this is what Parade of Chaos. I always get the titles mixed up there. And so listen to this one last night too, which is pretty good. My favorite songs on here are definitely Free the Three and A Pirate's Prayer. It's also a very good track on here too. So great additions to the Zao collection. I think I only need like 2 more CDs to complete the album collection, which is the same too with Overkill. As you guys know, I've been picking up a lot of things trying to complete their artist collection on CD. This is Fill the Fire from 87, I think. Is that right? Yeah, 1987, Megaforce Records. So again, I only need 2 more CDs to complete my Overkill collection too. Necro Shine and Below the Remains, I think is the other one. So really cool stuff. Listened to this one the other day too, and this is kind of, I think, straightforward Overkill all the way through. There was nothing on here that really stood out as with some of their other CDs, but I mean, just very, very consistent band. I mean, gosh, from the 80s all the way up to any current stuff they release, it's the same thing over and over, which is awesome. And then last but not least, I was very happy to find this one, brand new for only $3, I think, something like that. I do have the vinyl, but I was so happy to find this on CD, Grease 2. Freaking awesome. And oh my goodness, I will stand by this CD and this movie forever and ever and ever. Number one, Grease 2 as a movie is so much better than the first Grease, just completely and totally blows it away. I know my brothers and I are probably the only ones that ever say that, but you know, that's just the way it is. Matter of fact, it was really funny too, because I might have told the story before, but my brother is an actor out in Hollywood, you know, and he's worked on a bunch of different projects and a bunch of different things, and he's recently had a role on a TV show, a regular recurring role, that one of the other regular actors on the show was one of the actors from Grease, and one of the main actors from Grease 2. I mean, so he was sitting there talking to him about that one day, and even he was like, "Oh my gosh, really?" He's like, "You guys love that movie? We thought no one kind of cared about that at all." And he was just like totally shocked of just how much we loved Grease 2 over the original Grease. And they even messed around and sang some of the songs together and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a really, really cool thing. I would have killed to have been there. But anyway, so yeah, very, very nice pickup on the Grease 2 soundtrack. And I don't know, I could sit back and listen to this from front to back. I can sing every single song. I will jam out to every single song, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Awesome stuff. So I was extremely excited to get that in my collection, especially for only $3. So anyway, there you go, VC. Again, quick response to AJ's video. Quick update of just kind of what I've been listening to the last few days. And as always, let me know what you think. And we will talk to you guys soon. Alright, take care, VC.